The humiliation just keeps piling up for Donald Trump. You'd think after election night he'd quietly back away, grab a Big Mac, and toss some ketchup in frustration. But no, instead of stepping back, Trump decided to face his loss head-on and only ended up embarrassing himself even more. And this time, it's not just Trump taking the hits. His wife Melania has also added to his public humiliation. Both of them are facing one bad headline after another, and things keep getting worse. We're going to break it all down, but before we do, don't forget to like this video and hit that subscribe button if you enjoy our channel. It really helps support what we do. I can't wait to dive into this one because the news just keeps getting worse for Donald and Melania. But first, let's take a quick look at what's been angering Trump the most, his election loss, right here.
Right. Donald Trump went from being a lame duck to being a humiliated duck when voters from coast to coast turned out to vote against Donald Trump and his candidates and his policies in every place and in every way that they could. Donald Trump's explanation today for the Republican wipeout last night is that Donald Trump was not on the ballot. That's what he says. The conservative Wall Street Journal editorial board has written a reply to that under the headline, "Trump really was on the ballot." The Journal editorial says Mr. Trump was on the ballot, not literally, but nonetheless, as the main motivating force behind a dominating Democratic turnout. Winning Democratic candidates for governor in New Jersey and Virginia linked their opponents to Mr. Trump, driving Democratic voters to the polls and erasing the GOP gains in 2024 among Hispanics, Black men, and independents. The result was a much bigger Democratic triumph than polls predicted. The tsunami was big enough that Democrats were able to pick up 13 seats in the Virginia House of Delegates. They'll have 64 seats out of 100, which could give Democrats the chance to redistrict next year to gain congressional seats. And in California, where not a single name was on the ballot, voters stood in long lines to deliver 63% support for Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom's proposal for congressional redistricting in California that could add 4 or 5 seats for the Democrats to the House of Representatives and win control of the House of Representatives for the Democrats in next year's election. Every one of those California votes for that proposition was a vote against Donald Trump, every one of them. The reason no previous president has ever considered pursuing any of the policies Donald Trump has pursued this year is that those policies are obviously politically suicidal. And now we have the proof of that. And Donald Trump's bright idea today, during his politically suicidal government shutdown, is to partially shut down the air traffic control system in this country with the Thanksgiving travel surge approaching. Every day, Donald Trump finds a new way to weaken himself and weaken his party politically while making life in this country worse for millions of Americans. And now he wants to make it much worse for the millions of Americans who hope to go home for Thanksgiving this year. With less than a year into his presidency this time, Donald Trump is now the lamest of lame ducks ever to occupy the presidency. And sinking with him is the lamest group of Republican members of the House and Senate that the country has ever seen. The election returns last night indicate that a year from now, Democrats will win back control of the House of Representatives, and Donald Trump's administration and his incompetent cabinet members will be subject to real investigations of their personal profiteering from government.
Are you all okay with me reliving Tuesday night just a little longer? I know it's only been a couple of days, but come on. Let's enjoy this moment. Donald Trump took a massive loss, and Republicans got absolutely crushed across the country. These weren't close calls. They were total blowouts. We've spent enough time worrying and overanalyzing. It's okay to celebrate a win once in a while, especially when Trump is fuming. And in his frustration, he's gone back to his favorite distraction projects, like redecorating the White House with more gold, even putting up a tacky Oval Office sign. But what's even more interesting is his and Melania's latest endeavor, which has completely fallen apart. Melania's position at the Kennedy Center, where she serves as one of the chairs, isn't going as planned. In fact, it's becoming another public embarrassment for both of them. Let's take a look at how that's going, right here. Donald Trump's recent post about the Kennedy Center. Melania Trump's responsibility read, "I just inspected the construction on the Kennedy Center. It is looking really good." He was talking about fabrics, new chairs, new seats, saying it's happening faster than anticipated. One of my trademarks, it's not 2 weeks away from being done. My people are doing a really great job. We are bringing this building back to life. It was dead as a doornail, but soon it will be beautiful. And if you remember, Republicans wanted to rename the Kennedy Center's Opera House after Melania Trump, thinking that that would be a really great way to bring in some business and get people excited. But what actually happened? Nobody hears the people sing. Ticket sales at the Kennedy Center plunged by nearly 50% after the Trump takeover. Tens of thousands of seats, those new lovely seats, have remained empty during theater, orchestra, and dance performances at this institution. So Donald and Melania's little pet project over at the Kennedy Center is a big old stinker. It's not a not seeing smashing success, and they're just like humiliated all the time. And I know that I certainly feel a little humiliated. I don't know if y'all saw these videos of hedges like outside and trees being torn out of the Kennedy Center. Donald Trump giving that ugly country club Mar-a-Lago, making the Rose Garden filled with concrete look that he seems to love. But I am humiliated by the damage that they've done. But we also just have to laugh at the fact that, everybody hates Donald Trump, and they make it very, very clear all the time. All the time, they make it very clear. And what's really funny to me is I think that Melania, I really do in my heart of hearts, believe that she thinks of herself as kind of separate from this all. She's like, oh, I know people. They hate my husband. But is that a good? I don't know if that's a good. They hate my husband, but they love me, and I'm still good. I don't know why Donald Trump attacks all these immigrants when his immigrant wife still can't speak English. But that's a different story. But I think Melania does think of herself as a separate thing where people love my fashion, and duh. It's not the case. We despise you equally. You are just as much a part of this. People have been talking about Usha Vance so much lately, saying God. And I bet she just wishes she could get out of that relationship. I don't know. She seems pretty bought into it. I'm not going to have a lot of sympathy. You married J.D. Vance. First of all, J.D. Vance, are you serious? You have endorsed this all of it. You have endorsed. So I'm not going to pretend to feel sorry for you. I'm not going to actually feel sorry for you. And Melania, just another humiliation. Another humiliation on the old resume, both for her and Trump. This is just sad. And the losses keep coming. And one of Donald Trump's other big projects, his idiotic tariffs, are about to take one as well. And Lawrence O'Donnell broke it all down right here.
And they had to sit there silently for all 2 hours and 40 minutes in which Donald Trump's lawyer never said that tariffs are not taxes. He didn't try to make that impossible point. It was simply an accepted fact of the case by all of the justices. Tariffs are taxes. 3 minutes after Neil Katyal's first sentence saying tariffs are taxes, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court said, quote, "The tariffs are a tax," end quote. That is how fully accepted that fact was during this argument. Chief Justice Roberts said, yes, sure, the tariffs are a tax, and that's a core power of Congress. Yes, sure. Not a single Supreme Court justice disagreed with the chief or Neil Katyal about that. Tariffs are taxes is the single shortest sentence that exposes the lie of the Trump tariffs, which Donald Trump has claimed are paid by foreign countries. Donald Trump's lawyer, the Solicitor General, didn't dare try to tell that lie to the Supreme Court today.
For the past year, Republicans have tried to sell the fantasy that Donald Trump is some unstoppable political force, that he's popular again, reshaping the culture, and untouchable. But that was never true. Trump was never well liked, and nothing about him has changed. Meanwhile, Democrats have been winning big, from young voters to key swing districts. Candidates like Mickey, Cheryl, Abigail Spanberger, and Zohran Mamdani have shown that Democrats are reconnecting with voters and winning back support. We didn't lose the people. We just had one off year, and we're fixing it. Trump, on the other hand, keeps losing. In court, in politics, and in public opinion. He's not invincible. He's beatable. And he's being beaten again and again. And we're going to keep exposing that right here on this show. If you want to support what we do, don't forget to like this video and hit that subscribe button. And yes, our little buddy here is still part of the set. We're still thinking of a name, maybe Bones. He'll definitely get a hat for Christmas, though maybe not a red one. If you made it to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments, keep on fighting, and don't let them silence you. And until next time, I will see you soon.